Hello everyone. So in this video of chapter solution, I'll be talking about vapor pressure of solution of liquids in liquids. Then I'll be talking about Raoult's law. Then ideal and non-ideal solutions. Vapor pressure of solutions of liquids in liquids. Here we will consider one binary solution, and that binary solution is having two liquids, or you can say it is having two components, and these two components are A1 and A2. Both are volatile liquids. When a solution is placed in closed container, both the liquid will vaporize, and at equilibrium there will be a balance between the vapors and liquid phases of both the volatile liquids. Both the components are present in the vapor phase, and the partial pressure of components are related to their mole fraction of solute, and in Raoult's law we are going to establish this. Before that, I want to tell you here what is vapor pressure. If we are taking one liquid in a container, in a closed container, the liquid will start vaporize, and the vapor will start exerting pressure on the surface of that same liquid, and that pressure exerted by the vapors of the same liquid on its surface is called as vapor pressure. Raoult's law. Raoult's law used to say, he said, the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution is equal to the vapor pressure to the pure component multiplied by the mole fraction in a solution. How? This is what we are deriving now. Suppose we have one binary solution, and in binary solution we have two volatile liquids, A1 and A2. Both liquids will be having their partial pressures, which are P1 and P2, and their mole fractions are X1 and X2. According to Raoult's law, according to his statement, he stated that the partial vapor pressure of any volatile component of a solution is equal to the vapor pressure of its pure component multiplied by its mole fraction. Means, if I am talking about component A partial pressure, it would be equal to its mole fraction multiplied by the partial pressure in its pure state, which is represented as P1 naught. And the second component's partial pressure would be mole fraction of second component multiplied by its partial pressure when it was present in a pure form. So we have written P1 and P2's value in terms of mole fraction and the partial pressure when they were there in their pure state. According to Dalton's law of partial pressure, the total pressure would be P1 plus P2. So here we are writing total pressure P is equal to P1 plus P2, and on substituting value of P1 and P2 in this formula, we are getting this expression. Since we know we can substitute x1 by 1 minus x2 in binary solution, if we are finding any one mole fraction, we can find out second mole fraction by subtracting it from 1. So right now I am saying here x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. On substituting x1 by this, I will be getting this expression, and ultimately total pressure would be P2 naught minus P1 naught multiplied by mole fraction of second component plus P1 naught. Now, because P1 naught and P2 naught are constants, a plot of pressure versus x2 is a straight line, which is shown here in this figure. Means this line, this third one, would be the line of P in between pressure and mole fraction, and P1 versus x1 and P1 versus x2 will be according to this equation. Now let's understand, if we are plotting graph in between P1 equals to x1 multiplied by P1 naught. Let's understand this graph, and I am taking here, this is vapor pressure, this is mole fraction, and let's suppose I have the least value of x1 is 0. If I put x1 value 0 here, so what will happen? P1 will become 0. x1 multiplied by P1 naught is equal to 0. I will get first point here. And if I put the maximum value of x1, it is 1. Let's suppose on its maximum value, I will get P1 naught here. So I am getting one straight line when I am plotting graph in between P1 and x1. Let's plot graph in between P2 and x2. Let's plot graph in between P2 and x2. So this is P2 and this is x2. If I am putting x2 value 0, so I will be getting value here 0, because on multiplication P2 will become 0. And if I am putting value of x2 is 1, which is maximum value, so somewhere I will get pressure here. So this straight line I would be getting for P2. And if I am talking about total pressure. I am taking total pressure. So what will happen? I will be taking x2 values as 0. Let's suppose. So 0 multiplied by this whole bracket, 0. So the first value will become P1 naught. So the first value will be here P1 naught for P against mole fraction. And if I will put x2 value is 1, so what will happen? I will get P1 naught will be cancelled, this P1 naught, and P2 will remain. So the next value I will get here. So if I am joining these 2 points, I will be getting total partial pressure. This is how we used to draw the graph in between P1 and x1, in between P2 and x2, and total pressure with this mole fraction. Now, ideal and non-ideal solutions. Ideal solutions are the one which will obey Raoult's law totally. Non-ideal will not obey Raoult's law. Intermolecular attraction between the solute and solvent remains same as the pure components in case of ideal, and the intermolecular interaction between solute and solvent is weaker or stronger than the pure solvent in case of non-ideal. The total vapor pressure is same predicted by Raoult's law. It remain more or less predicted by the Raoult's law in case of non-ideal. Enthalpy of mixing in case of ideal is always remain 0, or you can say delta X mix is equal to 0. It may be positive, it may be negative, it is not equal to 0. Volume of mixing. In case of ideal, the total volume is equal to sum of the volume of components, that is solute and solvent. So after mixing, total V mix, delta V mix remains 0. Here we used to see expansion or contraction in case of non-ideal. So delta V mix is not equal to 0. In case of ideal, they will easily separated by fractional distillation method, but they will not, non-ideal will not be separated easily by fractional distillation because they used to form azeotropic mixture. They do not form, ideal solutions do not form azeotropic mixture. They used to separate from their components easily by fractional distillation. And one such example of ideal is benzene and toluene, hexane, heptane. These are the solutions which used to behave like ideal. And non-ideal are so many, like ethanol and acetone are non-ideal solution, carbon disulfide and acetone, petroleum and aniline, chloroform and acetone. These all are non-ideal solution. So this is all about ideal and non-ideal. Now, what all are the deviation from Raoult's law by non-ideal? We used to see positive deviation from Raoult's law. The solution in which solute-solvent intermolecular interactions are weaker than the solute-solute and solvent-solvent. They will show positive deviation. They will not give you straight line. They will give you something more, and it is something more like the line is getting bent. The vapor pressure of such solutions are higher than those of pure components. The solutions of ethanol, acetone, carbon disulfide and acetone, these are the solution which used to show the positive deviation. Negative deviation. Negative deviation are the solution in which the interaction between solvent and solute molecules are stronger than solute-solute and solvent-solvent interaction. These, due to these interaction, it exhibit negative deviations. The vapor pressure of such solutions are lower than those of pure solvent. That is why you will see the bend on the lower side. Alright. And the solution of phenol and aniline or another solution like chloroform and acetone exhibit negative deviation from the Raoult law. Thank you.